We're here at Alter Society Brewing Company. Let's go make some pour choices. On the left side of the menu first. I'm not even kidding. I was like, can I just get the left side of the menu? He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna come back for the right side. All right, so we're officially here at Alter. We actually just got a little flight here. They usually just serve it in 4, but they have 13 beers here. So I just told the guy to just give me the left side of the menu first, and then we're gonna do the right side of the menu next. 13 beers should be pretty relatively easy. I've been here before, so I kind of have an idea what to expect. But these are a lot of beers that I have not had yet. The first one is their staple beer, and we're gonna do that one right now. This is called Todos los Días, which means all of the days in Spanish. It's a 4.7%, and this is a Mexican style lager beer. I've had this before, so I kind of have an idea already, but a lot of lemon zest right on the nose, and just like a yeasty kind of nose overall, but it's lemon zest, it's yeasty, it's very pleasant. And that's good stuff. It's very, very clean, a little heavy on the carbonation, but overall the flavor comes through very clean. It does have those Bavarian notes, as I've mentioned in the past, of that like banana type flavor, but overall it's not an aggressive, it's not overly banana, it's kind of just right in that middle overall palate wise. I haven't had it in a while. Let me. 100% this is for beginners. I would say definitely try this if you're trying to get into beer. This is a very, very easy transition beer right into it. If you like Modelo, this is something that I don't see any reason why you would not like it, other than the fact that maybe you just don't like banana flavor. That's my only thing that I could say maybe you might not like it. Other than that, this should be acceptable by just about everybody that walks through the door, and it is their staple beer. All right, next up on the list is going to be Three Pillars. This is a Czech style Pilsner. It is at 5.2%. I have not had this one before, so it's kind of interesting on the color actually. Take a look at that. And you can actually see that it's a little bit kind of like orange. And it's actually a little bit throwing me off just because Pilsners don't normally have that much of an orange-like overall color, but I mean, who cares if it tastes good, right? Ultimately. On the nose, it's just really nice. It's kind of has hints of like almost kind of like a pumpkinish kind of nose, which is not what I was expecting, but let's just try it and see what it tastes like. Wow, actually, I'm just kind of surprised. Actually, it does have kind of like a pumpkin-like flavor. It's very, very yeasty overall, but it tastes like pumpkin with like some carbonation, a little bit of kind of like a sweet, kind of like honey flavor. It's nothing's off-putting about this beer. Everything just kind of is throwing me off just because Czech style Pilsners don't normally taste like this. We'll eventually be doing some videos here at a local brewery called Smog with a low bow pils. That's a regular traditional Czech style pils, and this one's just kind of throwing me off a little bit. You know, the fun part about beer is ultimately sometimes when you're just drinking with friends, it's really nice when you start getting into this because sometimes you just need help from another person. Just shared this over here with camera guy. We call him the director. But I'm just not having a hard time being able to put this into words because it's just really throwing off my palate. Just goes to show it doesn't matter how much times you've had something can always throw you for a whirl. I'm actually enjoying this. I don't have any problem with this. I just can't really describe it to anybody. I will say this is probably a little bit more on the advanced side. I would say that somebody who is a beginner level should stay away from this because especially when you have the Mexican lager here, this is going to be your better bet here. This is likely a little bit too aggressive for the palate, especially because it's throwing my palate off for, it's just for a whirl. So I like it, no problem here. Just, you know, something that's to think about. All right, coming up next is the Oktoberfest Lager. This is a Marzen style beer. This is a 5.7% ABV. And right off the bat, this is perfect. Look, I love that color on that because I know that this is an Oktoberfest style beer. It's a Marzen. This is exactly what they actually traditionally look like. I'm gonna give it a quick sniff real fast. No, not a lot going on the nose. Just some hints of yeast, a little bit of like caramel malt. But overall, nothing really on. But again, as I've always mentioned, you know, smells one thing, but that's good. If you like Oktoberfest style beers, these are going to be right up your alley. For a beginner, I wouldn't say that this is where you would want to start, just because this is going to have a little bit of a grainy, malty, light flavor with like hints of honey, but it is a little bit bitter on the back end. You're actually going to feel something right here that's very bitter, very similar to like an IPA. Maybe if you've been trying to get into the IPA category or more bitter category, maybe this would help you out to get into that range, just because this is definitely a lot tougher overall on your palate to gauge those flavors. But overall, very enjoyable. Like this. This is called Heretic Honey Ale. This is a 5.2% and it's considered what's known as a honey beer. Basically, it's brewed with honey. And man, when you smell this is, I mean, literally like straight honeycomb. Wow, it's so rich. Really, it's so rich. It literally just tastes like they put honey in this beer. Like literally just took a jar of honey and just dumped it in. This is a great beer for anyone looking to get into beer. This is so unaggressive on anyone's palate. I would say that this is exactly where you would want to start off if you wanted to get into any kind of beer, because this actually tastes more so like honey than it does actual beer. My biggest complaint is that it doesn't have a very cohesive honey beer characteristic. Most beer I like to see as a standalone overall cohesive unit, kind of providing a flavor. This one seems like you're almost drinking like a shot of honey, and then as soon as the shot of honey is dissolving in your mouth, you're taking a shot of beer. It's the only complaint I have. Other than that though, I would drink this 100%. Get this if you're just getting into beer. This is exactly where I would start off. This is just like the little personalized one. Yeah. You're into beer, or?
I am getting a beer. First IPA on the set.
Oh, cool. But no, but are you like into beer? Like you drink regular?
Into beer? Yeah. No,
Cool.
I mean, I don't know if I can talk like. Honestly, I don't know if I can talk beer too well. I know IPA from Oktoberfest.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, man, we got a beer channel. We're just started up. We've only been doing it for about 2 weeks.
Heck yeah.
So if you're interested, man, it's called Poor Choices Content. Or POUR.
You said you just got started?
Yeah, I've been drinking for the last 11 years on a stupid scale.
Okay.
I started seeking out like super crazy rare beers, like beers that there was like 100 bottle count ever made, and like I would seek that beer out and I would get it, and then I'd share it with a group of friends that were equally as crazy as I am, and I did that for like 5 years, and it was just such a crazy consuming thing. And then I just kind of slowed down from it, and I didn't take it as serious anymore. So then I just started going back to just tasting beers.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting at like 5,000 beers that I've had, different styles. So I've had literally everything, and I've had the rarest of the rare.
Yeah.
I've had the most top ranked beers ever. Like if you go to Beer Advocate or on Untappd, they say the top 250 beers. I literally have had everything.
Heck yeah.
So at some point I started just kind of sharing with people like, hey, you know, if you like that, you should get this. And then I started realizing I was good at it. So telling people, like, hey, you know, if you like that kind of style, you should try this. And then I would be like, oh, if you don't like that, it's probably because it's too hoppy. You got to go here. And I would give that.
Maybe I'll get your channel, get inspired.
Hey, man, try. Feel free to give it a like, man. All I like to do is I like to just help people out with anything else. But other than that, just drink, have a good time, man. That's really the main thing.
Awesome.
Always drink what you like. That's what I always tell people. Just drink what you like. Good man, you brother.
Yeah.
Life's a Peach. This is going to be not my saying Life's a Peach. This beer is called Life's a Peach, and it is a white peach Hefeweizen sitting at 5.1%. What's really interesting about this, before I even take a whiff, nose, anything, Hefeweizens don't traditionally come fruited, so the fact that this is a fruited Hefeweizen is very interesting because I've never actually seen one done. Again, I've had just about everything you could think of, and I don't think I've ever had a Hefeweizen that's been fruited. Take a look at this color; it's really nice. Nice little kind of like bright orange with like a hint of like brown in it. And let's, ooh. Again, you see me smile when I sniff. That's always a good sign. That is, ooh, that is a ton of peach. Just a whole boatload of peach right in your frickin' nose. Put this on a car scent, and I'll stick it in my car right now. This is awesome. If this tastes like it smells, I'm gonna be frickin' floored right now. So this is, yeah, it is a very, very distinguishedly white peach. It has a very, very distinct white peach flavor. This is having a little bit of hard time here just because the white peach does fade kind of quickly and the Hefeweizen is a little bit lost on me. It does just taste kind of like a yeasty peach beer, so it doesn't really taste like a hef the way I'm expecting it to taste. I'm gonna go in for one more here before I give you any final thoughts. And kind of what I was mentioning, so great beer. Anybody who's a beginner, trust me, this is what you want right here. This is so unoffensive. It is just tastes like white peach juice. Biggest complaint, very similar to this beer here, is that it's not a very cohesive flavor. In other words, it tastes like you're kind of taking a shot of white peach followed by taking a shot of beer. It does not taste like it is the same unit, but overall this is very good. I would 100% say that you want to get this if you're going to be getting into beer. It's nothing simpler than getting into this, something like this. All right. My biggest complaint about myself is that I say my biggest complaint. I'm gonna try to reference things as pros and cons for me. Keep in mind what may not work for me necessarily may actually work for you. So I will try to be a little bit more on just the actual flavor notes themselves. That is my biggest complaint. Self-realizing when you watch yourself on video. I'm gonna get that on there just simply due to show its variation of the place itself. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like, oh, these guys make really soft and safe beer only, which is not the case because they're making IPAs as well, and they're making the fruited IPAs and hazies and chocolate or peanut butter style stout. So I think it's a good idea to put it on there. So. All right, Temple of Tartness. That is the next one up here. This is a raspberry sour ale. Take a look at that color. That's awesome. It's like a kind of like a really, really dark orange, borderline on that red. This is awesome looking. It looks very, very cloudy, but it's not. It actually is really, really see-through. You can hold it right up to the light. I don't know if you can see that on the video there, but you can actually see right through it. It's a really nice color on this. All right, that is a raspberry bomb. Holy, oh man, if I could, I can't even just, I mean, it's just a ton of raspberry right on the nose. It's a raspberry sour ale, so they weren't lying about that. It's definitely found in this beer. This is sitting at 5.9%. This is a sour ale. I could smell this the rest of the day. They have some of the best smelling beers I've ever had at a brewery, by the way. Those were all really, really solid. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, so as I mentioned in the past, sour ales have this kind of like making you want to have like a ball of saliva coming out right here, right in your back of your palate. It's gonna kind of give you like this bite sourness. It's gonna make your like saliva like come out running. It's very traditional of a sour ale because of the type of style it is. This is no different. It has all those sour characteristics. This one is definitely not going to be just beginner level. However, I could see anyone liking this. This is like if Stella Rosa was sour, literally. I'm not even kidding. This tastes like Stella Rosa sour. That's exactly what this tastes like. Go in for one more note here. I mean, honestly, Maybe it's just because I'm a little bit so used to that bite that it has that I don't notice it as much anymore. This tastes like raspberry juice to me. I know if I gave this to my wife right now, she'd be like, "Oh, that's way too sour. It has salty, lemony." That's a very traditional response to a sour because it tastes lemony, it tastes salty, it tastes like it has this bite that's a little bit unpleasant to anybody who hasn't had a whole lot of sours. However, I would encourage anyone to try this from the get-go because if you can get into a beer like this, it means that you're probably ready for a lot more different styles because has such an aggressive bite on your overall palate. Right in this section right here, you'll know what I'm talking about when you drink this because it's gonna have it right here. Are you rolling right now? So that the director just gave us a really good tasting note here. It's always fun to drink with people, for as I mentioned, because you get to have these different opinions. He said it tastes like it has tahini in it. If you don't know what tahini is, he's gonna put it right here, and it'll get a little signal here. It's basically like a lime and salt with a little bit of chile type thing that Hispanics/Mexicans will put on just about everything, to be honest. We love our tahini on fruit, and this actually does taste like kind of like it. Kind of borderline. I wish I had some tahini with me right now, actually, just to add it to this, just to see what would happen with this beer if I threw some in here. Cheers. And we could even do like a 2 segment too. We could do like a part 1 and part 2. I mean, just see how long the video is, and then